Welcome to the Popish plot. My name is Nate.
And I'm Jessica, and today is Scriptural Saturday, and today's plot is Dishonest Money, which I'm guessing why we have this here, because Jefferson, he looks a little shifty eyes in this picture, and I know this is an old bill, but it doesn't even look like money anymore.
Yeah, but you know what?
There's no line.
No, but the $2
It
bills...
doesn't say twos.
Even the new $2 bills look the same, though. They haven't changed the primary design.
They still make these?
They still make $2 bills. At least as recently as 2013, I've seen.
Alright.
They still have the exact same artwork. No funny colors, no enlarged portrait. Just pretty much like an old bill.
So
but, yeah,
we're not talking about how this looks like fake Monopoly money for today's episode.
No, you wanted to talk about how it looks like fake Monopoly money at this point. But no, we're going to be talking about a slightly different view of wealth. But before we do, we'd like to share with you some details about this new series that we're starting right here today, Scriptural Saturday. Basically, the idea is that there's a lot of really great Bible readings out there. The church has designed the structure of the liturgical readings so that Sundays work on a 3-year cycle.
Yes,
and
I believe this year's A.
Yes, and daily readings work on a 2-year cycle, and theoretically, over the course of about 3 years, an individual could hear most all of the Bible, especially...
The second half of the daily Bible
plus
part.
the second half of the daily part, plus especially all of the most significant Bible readings. The problem is that unless you're going to Mass every day, you're probably not hearing all those. You're probably mostly only getting the Sunday ones.
Yeah. I mean, there are daily readings that do become Sunday ones. Like, the fact that there's only so much gospel to go around.
That's fair.
And every Mass has a gospel reading.
Okay.
In daily Mass, unless it's like a major feast day, they usually just have one reading of a non-gospel book. So,
okay.
You know, that's a lot more chance that you're not going to hear it in Sunday, but you tend to get most of the Gospels. However, even if people go, I know lots of people who say they go to daily Mass.
Mm-hmm.
They go Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Sunday.
Yep, yeah.
They might go Saturday night, because quite often a number of the people who do daily Mass are retired and older, and they like going on Saturday night,
yeah.
For the visual Mass, but Saturday night is Sunday, because in ancient Judaism, they started the day when it got dark because they didn't have atomic clocks that could tell you exactly by the millisecond what time it is.
Nope.
They didn't go like, oh, it's somewhere in the middle of the night, it must be the next day.
Yeah.
It's dark, it's not dark. It was a very distinct thing. The rabbis wouldn't argue how dark is dark. If you can see your hand now, is it dark? Stuff like that.
Sure.
But it was a set, time they could work from.
Okay.
And if you go, say, in the middle of the afternoon, you happen to have a wedding at 2 on a Saturday, or maybe a funeral, as that's also a popular day for funerals because people are off work. It wasn't just a coincidence that today's readings were all about love or eternal life.
No.
No, the family picked those readings.
Handpicked.
Yep. Most churches will give them a choice of, between 3 or 5 readings that fit for, each, first reading, second reading, and gospel, and they pick which one they thought would work the best, what meant the most for them, things like that. So that's not the Saturday's Mass.
No,
either.
the Saturday Mass readings are really hard to hear organically in a Mass setting because most churches don't have a Saturday daily Mass. They have so much other stuff going on Saturdays that they opt not to have one more thing. And not a lot of people go to a Saturday morning daily Mass. So they just opt to use their resources where they're most needed. And for that reason, we decided that we would have a segment wherein we could take some of those daily readings that you may or may not hear during the course of your year and bring them to you. Like today. Today we're going to be taking... Today is Saturday. We're going to be taking the Saturday Daily Mass Gospel reading of Luke 16, verses 9 through 15. And I say to you, make friends for yourselves with the mammon of wickedness, so that when you fail, they may receive you into the everlasting dwellings. He who is faithful in a very little thing is faithful also in much, and he who is unjust in a very little thing is unjust also in much. Therefore, if in the case of the wicked mammon you have not proved faithful, who will entrust to you what is true? And if in the case of what belongs to another you have not proved faithful, who will give you what is your own? No servant can serve two masters, for either he will hate the one and love the other, or else he will stand by the one and despise the other. You cannot serve God and mammon. Now the Pharisees, who were fond of money, were listening to all these things, and they began to sneer at him. And he said to them, You are they who declare yourselves just in the sight of men. But God knows your heart. For that which is exalted in the sight of men is an abomination before God.
Hold on a second.
What?
Well, we went over the fact that even if you only go to Sunday Mass, you get most of the Gospels because,
Sure, there's only so much Gospel.
There's only 4 Gospels.
Right.
I don't remember that passage at all. The Mammoth of Wickedness, that doesn't sound like something you should be friends with. That sounds like, the exact opposite from everything else in the Bible. I mean, a lot of this does seem familiar, but I remember it from other parts. I remember the parable of the talents, talking about being faithful in little things and getting big things. I distinctly remember somewhere in the Bible talking about how you can't serve 2 masters. Mm-hmm. And the Pharisees being jerks is just, given throughout.
Par for the course.
But that starting part, are you sure you've read it right? Maybe there's a misprint in this one. Did you try another version? Make sure.
I've read a few different versions. Primarily, what you're seeing here is, or what you're hearing here, is the fact that this is the Dewey Reams Bible,
which is technically modern English.
It's technically modern English, but if it were any older, it wouldn't be. So the word choices are very old word choices. They would have been understood very well by somebody who lived 500 years ago, maybe.
So it's like how it probably also says corn for barley, because corn used to mean the proper crop and not maize. Yeah,
it's entirely possible. But as I said, I did go and check some other translations. Most of the more modern ones, they translate the mammon of wickedness as dishonest wealth. And that, in and of itself, no, it was confusing by itself. I ended up having to go and find some commentaries, find some discussions on this Bible passage. Remember, if you're reading the Bible and something doesn't make sense, assume that there's something you're missing and go looking for it, because it's a really deep text. I mean, there's lots of stuff in there.
So is this like a cultural thing that we're not picking up because we're not first century Jews?
It might be, but basically what it's saying is that you need to get to know the nature of the wealth of this world. Make friends with it in that you get to know it for who it is.
Alright, so when it's saying make friends with it, it means more to know its strengths, its weaknesses, like you would if you were a friend, and from that you can interact with it properly.
Yes.
So like, if this was a super modern translation, except for the fact that there isn't a Greek word for this, it would probably be more like be frenemies with the money of this world.
It might very well say that. Basically what it's saying is that we need to be responsible in all of God's, with all of God's gifts. They're things He gave to us. They're not ours. They're His to use in a way that is good and proper. And this is especially true with regards to wealth, because wealth lies. We live in a world where we are taught by society that all you need is money. If you have money, you'll be happy. If you have money, you'll be able to buy the things that will help you feel more fulfilled, more satisfied with your life. And the fact of the matter is, it's just not true. There are lots of people out there with plenty of money who are very unhappy. There are lots of people out there who have all the great, nice, beautiful things in life who are still deeply searching for satisfaction. We need to see wealth as it is. We need to be able to recognize the lies that it will tell us. And most importantly, we need to try to resist those lies.
Well, I think you did a really good job. If you were like trying to get on stewardship committee, this is great, but you're already on. You don't need to, unless you want to add, and make sure you get rid of all your dishonest wealth by putting it in the collection basket. I think we've covered this.
Yeah, that's not quite where I was going.
Oh, okay.
There's more that you can do with your dishonest wealth than just put it in your collection basket, although that is a very good place to start. But basically what I was trying to say is that wealth isn't going to complete you. It's not going to give you eternal life. It's not going to make you feel fulfilled, or it's not going to make you a better person. Wealth is a tool. And unless we are using that tool responsibly, somebody's going to get hurt. I should not juggle hammers.
No, you shouldn't.
No. I cannot juggle hammers responsibly.
No.
So I don't.
No. Alright, well, that also makes a lot of sense. So, I think that covers this first Scriptural Saturday.
Okay.
So, until next time, go ahead and hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and then the bell that's right next to it, so that way you can be informed when our next episode is. And why don't you comment with the weirdest translation that you've seen in a Bible, especially old-timey Bibles.
Yes. Bonus points if you can find something from a really old Bible. But, I don't know, would we give them bonus points if they found something that wasn't a non-English translation?
I was just going to say, for all I know, there's something that seems really funny in the Vulgate. We just don't know enough Latin.
Hey, there you go. And remember, until next time, live your faith.
Love your faith.
Share that love.